Alright, we were thumbing through the plans there, and we took a lot of time to go through it page by page, and there were a bunch of discrepancies and things that didn't quite make sense to us. So rather than fight with it, I just decided to do some modeling in AutoCAD and see if we couldn't tweak some things and get it so everything would make sense to us, and that also gave us the opportunity to cut some things on the CNC machine and save some time. So this is what we did. We didn't model the entire thing, but mainly the carcass, and that gave us enough to get started and have everything jive when we started putting it together.
All right, got the getting pretty far here on the tool chest, and so we want to go through some of the features that we put into it and then some of the techniques. First of all is we had to do a lot of glue ups, and it's only 3/8 of an inch, which you have to fight a lot of the warping of the boards and try to get as much of the stress out of it. So we also try to match the sides here so that the grain is a continuous flow. It's like one board. So we did that out of one piece of walnut, cut it in half so that the grain matches and looks like a pair of toolboxes when you put it together. We also cut these into 3 strips and then glued it back together to relieve some of that stress, and then went ahead and planed it down to 3/8 of an inch, and that makes it much flatter of a piece. And we went ahead and did that to all the larger panels, and we'll be doing that when we do the front panels and things like that, which is the next step that we're going to be working on and doing the lid. We just finished up here getting the trays assembled and getting the bottoms on there. We still have to do the backs, and we're fitting each one as we go, and we have the sander here, and we just touch the sides as we adjust it, because the fit has to be really tight, and we're trying to make that fit really tight but not too tight, so when the finish gets on there it binds or anything like that. So we're working on that, and that's as you can imagine, a little bit tedious, but we'll get to that. A couple other things that we have going on is on this piece right here is we're going to be drilling the locking pins that come down and hold the front raised panel in place when the lid drops down, so we'll be working on that pretty soon as well. Couple other features are to assemble this as accurately as possible and to utilize the CNC as much as possible. The drawer runners on the inside here, we cut all of these carcass pieces on the CNC. These are stop dados that the 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch oak rails get placed in there, and so we went ahead and cut that on the CNC. All of these dados where the panels interlock, cut all those on the CNC as well. These 2 dividing pieces here actually have rails on both sides, so we had to do a 2-step machining process, cut it out, cut the dados on one side, and then we, out of MDF, we made a blank with 2 pockets in it so that would index it correctly, and cut the opposite sides. So they took a little bit extra time there for those pieces there, but using that, it really helped out for assembly, and really went very well, and try to minimize as much of the hand tweaking as possible. Also want to show you a close-up of the drawer, or the trays, as it were. We used a lot of rabbets, so the fronts are rabbeted to accept the sides, and then in the back we did a dado across the back that holds the back in place, and then the bottom is also rabbeted to accept the bottom, and this is just pinned and glued on the back here for to hold everything nice and square. And for the glue, as the glue is setting up, we use this micro pinner, Senko micro pinner, and it shoots 23 gauge headless nails, or headless pins, and that's really a lifesaver. You can barely see just a little teeny area where it shot, where the head is, but it really holds it nice together and doesn't use it. It doesn't show a giant hole. So that's really happy about that.
That's vacuum. Air pressure. Like a piston. Anyway, we're getting there.
Also, while we're starting this project, we have a couple of flat reference surfaces that we use to staple big pieces of framing members and things like that. But we didn't really have a nice workbench, and we've been looking to build one. So we decided to look on Craigslist for some different bases and things, and kind of figuring out what's the most economical way to build it. And we came across this frame down here. It was off of an old vinyl window welding machine, I believe, a CNC welding machine to weld vinyl windows together. And they were just getting rid of the base, so we went ahead and bought that. Has the leveler legs in all four corners, which is really nice.
What's that weigh?
It's about, I would say, 300-400 pounds.
Yeah, welded steel.
Welded steel tubes.
11 feet long, 3 feet wide.
And so also had some logs, some hickory logs laying around that I had gotten about 3 years ago. They had been sitting there for 3 years, so they had started to get some spalting on them, which is kind of neat. And so we went ahead and milled that up. I have a small ripsaw sawmill, which is just the chainsaw head is mounted to basically a bandsaw. It doesn't rip very wide, but it's fun. It's fun to take a log and from the log process all the way to a finished product. And so we went ahead and milled up some hickory and put all the pieces up on the CNC machine instead of using the router and a sled to level the slabs out, and leveled it all out after it was glued up, flipped it over, did the other side. And the other feature that we wanted to do, and we haven't finished this part yet, but we have a piece of steel, 1/2 inch steel over here. We went ahead and recessed the steel into the workbench so that we have an area for welding little projects, which we do very little of, but we do have that, and we need to hammer things or try to loosen things. We have a nice flat, strong work surface to work off of. So that's we really enjoyed that, and it's helped this process as well, and we really enjoy it as a centerpiece to the workshop.
Okay, so how much did this workbench cost us?
$100.
$100. We paid $100 for this base.
$150. $100 for the base, some finish.
Okay, so $100 for the base, and then some workbench top finish. And well, that's not true. We paid $136 for this piece of steel. So anyway, somewhere around $300 we built the workbench, and it's pretty heavy duty, 3 feet by 11 feet, and it does the job. So just take a walk around of our chest here. You can see the grain flow. We tried to keep that consistent on the carcass. We didn't get too carried away with the drawers, mainly because we were picking and choosing around knots and stuff. But the figure on the trays is going to look pretty good, and but we did get the grain to line up really nice on the sides. So today we're going to be working on the lid, and we're going to be working on the front panels, panels that retain the trays and lock everything up tight. So there it is.
I think that's about it. We have a lot of, got to put all the felt on, and the hardware is on its way. And once that comes, we'll start doing that, and then we'll be ready to finish it and get it shipped out, get it taken up to Keith. So it's looking good, and we're excited about the process.